establishing boundaries with people that you love. And people that you love know that it's not easy. The ones with boundary issues know that it's not easy establishing boundaries and have no problem exploiting that. Children especially. Look, that one right there has no problem trying to manipulate his way into whatever he wants to.
And he's going to contest.
And he's going to keep doing it. And it's going to be up to me and up to my wife to teach him boundaries, and we're working on it.
Yeah.
But kids, adults know, people know. Whether they know it consciously or subconsciously, they know the people that have a hard time saying no. They know the people that are going to stonewall them, and they have no idea knowing how to pull their buttons and pull their strings to get it out of them. But boundaries, what do boundaries look like? They're invisible property lines.
Yeah.
In the physical world, like we talked about, my landscaping job, and how you have property lines to determine where a person's responsibility ends. I don't get a notification from the city if my neighbor doesn't cut his grass for the next 6 months. Not my problem.
Right.
There's a boundary line there. The most important thing about boundaries, as we've tried to talk about and I want you to understand, is that boundaries delineate or define what's me and what's not me. Ergo, if I have no boundaries, I have no sense of self. If I have weak boundaries, I have a weak sense of self. I have a weak sense of who I am as a person. If my boundaries are not clearly defined, or if I let them become trampled on. Sometimes I never get to be me because somebody else is always occupying my space, my territory, my resources, my time, my energy. So when do I get to be me? Some of us go 40, 50, 60 years still trying to figure that out. That's why we're teaching this stuff now. This is why tell your friends. You might be able to help them. What's me and what's not me? Boundaries define us. They define what's me and not me. A boundary shows me where I end and someone else begin, leading me to a sense of ownership. Knowing what I am to own and to take responsibility for gives me freedom. Boundaries delineate ownership. Ownership gives me freedom. I am bound if I have no boundaries. I am not free to be me if I don't know where me begins and ends. And somebody else, my kids, my mother, my spouse, my boss, my friends, if I don't know where they begin and end and where I begin, then I am bound by them. They are setting the parameters of what is me. Make sense? Let's see here. What 2 and 4, boundary lines tell us what we are responsible for as opposed to what we are responsible to. There's a difference between being responsible to something and responsible for something. Cloud Townsend suggests we are responsible to others and for ourselves. What's the difference between being responsible to something and responsible for something?